Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something sick.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny, I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things, of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
So anyway, in that session, it wasn't about the anger or anything. It was, what came up was this, I saw this kind of, I just noticed, the exile part of me,
right. Yeah.
And it was very innocent and kind of hiding behind something and just kind of peeping around a corner, looking at me. And then the next thing that happened was, I heard this kind of voice say, "This is really stupid."
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and something just told me okay, I clearly heard that. What was that? So I told her about that, and she's like, well, see if you can check in with that part, and see what's going on there. And she said, basically she said, yeah, that's right. She said, see if you could, talk to that part, because that's probably a protector that maybe came up and is not wanting you to get close to that exile or get close. She didn't even use that terminology at that point. She just said, see what's going on there and see if they'll wait. See if they can wait while you work with this other. And so, I went to this part and I saw this kind of part of me when I was 15, laying on this couch in the basement where I grew up and it was this part of me. It was just I was just okay. And I was look, okay, you think you can, I'm talking to this other part over here. Do you think you could, hang out and I'll be back? And he was obviously kind of yeah, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, whatever. Go do whatever you're going to do. And so I was oh, that didn't seem so convincing, but I tried to go back to the other part and it was just lost the connection. And so I just told her, I said, I think I need to go back to this part over here. And she said, yeah, I think so. And so when I went back there, it was the message just suddenly flashed, that this part, teenage self of me, just said, basically said, you hate me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I told her that. I said, like, oh my God, it's like, and it was just I was shocked to hear that. I was like, he thinks I hate him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay. And I knew the story right away. I knew the whole story. I was like,
Right.
okay, all right. I was like, all right, like, this is my teenage self. This is like when I'm like 15 and a half, and I like quit playing soccer so that I could make my brother happy and practice in the band every day after school, because I was taken away from the band by going to soccer practice twice a week.
Uh-huh.
And then the guys in the band started to say, like, you need to quit. You need to quit playing. You need to quit playing soccer if you want to be in the band.
Right. Yeah.
And it was such a dilemma.
Yeah.
But I kind of knew what I was going to do. I was going to quit because I was going to be. There's a little more to the story, but at the same time, it's like I want to be with those guys. I want them to like me. I want them to.
Right.
I want to be a part of that older person's group, and be part of the band and do all these things, and even though really I didn't want to for myself. I didn't really love the band. I loved my team. I loved playing soccer, but that was kind of falling apart too. My coach was moving. We were getting older. I was going to have to try out for high school. It was like a new frontier. But anyway, this part of myself on the couch, I just got that. I took that away from him. I just took that away from him, and I threw him into this thing where, you're going to grow your hair long, and you're going to smoke cigarettes, and you're going to do all this other stuff, and you're going to fit in.
Right.
So he's just laying there on this couch, and he's got this pillow over his face, and I'm there, and I was trying to, I just, just with her coaching, I was just saying, I get it. It's totally understandable. This was a major betrayal, and of trust, and I didn't take care of you then. I didn't take care of you then. And, I'm here now, and I'm, I want to reconnect, so that was the start of my journey. And then that, so that was like, after that session, I probably felt like the calmest I have felt in like 30 years or something, and I mean, maybe not, exact, but I mean, just as, I'm a meditator and everything, but this was like just as a normal state, of mind, like without any effort at all. It was just like, I felt like there was just a deeper connection with myself, and so that was the start. And I got a couple more sessions from her, and then it just seemed like it was hard. It was it was like one of these things, like I mean, I really have, it kind of like this door opened and I was like, okay, like I've known, I knew this kind of thing had to exist, and yeah, I don't know I don't know how to say it. It's just kind of like everything I've been through in my life. I'm just scratching the surface, but I feel like this is really helping me. So, and it just like holds some key that I can, put some things back together.
Yeah, definitely.
So
cool. So you did a few more sessions with her, and
yeah, did a few sessions with her, and then I kind of just I thought, like maybe I could find. It seemed like, like she was in UK time, so it was kind of like the only appointments she could give me were like 9 a.m. Eastern, my time. Mm-hmm. And, it just wasn't such a therapeutic hour for me, mm-hmm. It was just a little early. And then she went to India and it was going to be even a stranger time. She was going there for 6 weeks. And then I was just like, I'm going to try to find. So I tried to find somebody, and I found somebody through this Canadian website. I think Derek Scott or something like that.
Yeah.
So I found somebody who's actually not far from me. I'm near Atlanta, Georgia, mm-hmm. and I did. I didn't have a real good connection with them, though. I did like 5 sessions, like one after the other every week mm-hmm. for like 6 weeks. And it was interesting because, I was just really trying to get my parts to like this guy and how he's doing things. And they just wouldn't. They just were like, we got to get the fuck out of here. It's just, so, and when I finally, like, it took me a few sessions to honor that, and just like understand that, yeah, this just isn't working. There's things that he's doing in the model that it just like it triggers the certain protectors, mm-hmm. and they just won't talk. And just end up working the whole time with trying to get them to calm down, and it's just not, so.
Do I do those things?
No, you don't.
All right.
No. Thank you for asking. But I'll tell you what those things were. And you don't do those things, but they were like generalizations about people and their parts and what parts do, and they were just things that took the and it's not that I think it was
he doing
honestly
go ahead.
Honestly, I think I don't think it's what he was saying. I think it was his self energy that he really just wasn't comfortable, mm-hmm. And maybe it was just us. It was just like he wasn't quite, I just, like one of the things I've noticed about your sessions, and also I listened to this one with Elena.
Oh yeah, yeah. She just published that.
She's a pro, right?
Yeah.
She's like okay.
Yeah.
So that she's like there's a curiosity, there's a genuine curiosity, and there's like Yeah. I'm trying to, I think it was just that. I felt like, this guy's he's just a little bit, he's not, comfortable with, with what's going on yet.
Was he going into teaching? Was he, like, when you said generalizations, was he doing like, well, this is what this means about this and this? Kind of getting into teaching mode. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually good. It's actually good for me. I mean, it was, I mean, you gotta, how do you say, like, there's a lesson in everything, right? So, and I teach too, and, I could just, what I got from that, was that, oh, I think I do that sometimes. And, that's probably why that student eventually quit or something, or it's just like, you're not being connected to them. You're trying to deal with yourself, like, too much. You're trying to deal with, or you get too intellectual. If you get too intellectual, you break a certain connection. And then if you're in the background and you think you're doing good, then that's like an added, so internally I just was, and I got, what did come up for me was that I was like, oh, okay, I have a protector that does not mess around, like, doesn't like bullshit, doesn't, just kind of feels like really, and it was kind of good to feel that in a way, even though it was
definitely
comfortable. It was just because there was this other part of me that was like disappointed, that was like, man, I there was the woman, and, I couldn't get the appointments I wanted, and it was going good. And then, I got this guy, and, it's a good, I can afford it. And, and he can meet every week, and he's he likes the Grateful Dead. And it was just like all this stuff, like this other part was just, and so, and then also this part of, I don't want this that's like a conflict. Like, I don't want to say, I'm sorry, but this isn't working for me, And so there was like these few parts, but the major writing on the wall was just like, and it happened when I talked to this friend of mine, because I was like, man, I got to tell you about this my IFS journey, how it's going and stuff. And he's like, well, what are you doing? It's like, so yeah, I'm seeing this therapist, and it's like, yeah, but and I started spilling the beans a little bit. And he's like, well, then you got to get another therapist. I was like, yeah, and that's when it kind of was like, I gotta get another therapist. I'm gonna have to. So there was that, and but I did, and when I finally was like, okay, I gotta take care of business here, and I just said, hey man, wrote him an email. I said, thank you, and I'm gonna move on. It's just not a good fit for me right now. I really appreciate it. I hope you understand. And it was like totally cool. It's not like, I've never done those things, but, I mean, yeah, I mean, I have, but that, just my MO has just been, these other parts come up, and it's like this tussle.
It's a tough situation. I mean, we're putting so much trust, and we see the other person as an authority, in this field that we're just learning about, and we're paying them money, and that surely means that they're qualified, and we don't want to, oh, well, if they're not right for me, am I implying that they're bad for everyone? There's so much that comes up around that.
Yeah.
It could be really hard.
Yeah. 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 And I kind of had to, and I did kind of unpack some of that, and I was, and especially the part of like, who knows what it is, who knows what the disconnect is, or, it's just the connection between me and him is not happening right now. And,
right. And this work is,
and, it doesn't mean anything. What's that? Yeah.
It's foundational. I mean, that's what we're doing is we're practicing connection inwardly. And sometimes you got to lean on your guide a little bit. And I mean, that's, I say a lot like, oh, parts know what they need to heal. And I think because that's what we're trying to facilitate is connection. If that's not there with a practitioner, they're all saying, no, get us out of here. All except
right.
except that one that says, but, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I really, at this time, I'm just really, craving this authenticity, and, and this connection with myself. There's things I really want to heal, and so, but I've been doing some reading also. I've been doing some reading, and I've been doing some connection with myself, and I've had some really good, interesting, personal contact with parts, and so I'm encouraged by that too. Just yeah.
Great. Awesome. Well, it's good to know your journey. That helps me in knowing, well, like how much to teach, right? Like that kind of thing. That because sometimes I don't get any backstory, and that's I'm just as responsible for that as anyone else. But that can make it harder to navigate for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes I'm pretty chatty, so, I'll get off on a tangent with talking. So, if you need to kind of, wrangle me in a certain direction, just don't be afraid to be very direct or anything. It's like, I appreciate, a little help. Sometimes I just feel a little bit, scattered when it comes to, these different, navigating my own mind, I guess.
You've done a lot of thinking about it, and you're in that place where it's, you've got a lot on your plate because you're in it. Right. So when someone's brand new to it, it's just, they don't know what they're getting into necessarily. And you have that experience of already touching into these different parts, having these different experiences with practitioners, and it's definitely a lot to figure out and deal with for sure.
See, that's a thing you have, like, you have a genuine sense of like empathy, like how you relate back to people, like that's something that I think really works in what you're doing, and that's one of the things I recognize. That's what was missing for me.
Yeah.
In this other, not that it wasn't empathetic, but just to actually do it, like actually.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how people do it all day long for a living. If I had to do 7 of these a day, maybe one of them would get some of that empathy, but no, I just can't even imagine it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine turning it into a job.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Should we try to do some parts work, see what happens?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you have any questions about the process? I record everything, and you're welcome to cut anything, and it'll be shared with you.
Okay.
well ahead of time. So I don't know if do you have any questions about any of that?
No, I'm all right with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. I usually start with a minute of meditation. Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah, it's great.
Okay. I'll set a timer. Okay. So, do you know what parts you'd like to work with, get to know better, change your relationship with today?
Yeah, I mean, there's one, there's one kind of like this avoidant part that is really kind of triggered today, and then there's also this part that I've connected with lately, and it's a protector. I sort of called it like the Depressor, because it was a really, I'm just kind of beginning to contact that part and show more, really kind of understand like what that part of me was where it was coming from, like when I'm 23, 24 years old, I'm 51 now, so it was quite a while ago. And, and it's another, kind of a self-betrayal thing. What the message I got from that part was, you left me here.
Right.
And I get that. That I think, there's another part that's it's much more, it's a little bit more present, However, it's like too much right now.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know if, I just don't know if I have the, and maybe that's, the avoidant part of me talking too, and that's like because there's I think I mentioned like there was this breakup with someone, like I had this breakup. So, if I run into that person, or if they're, I was kind of in the vicinity of that person today, and and so it was a little bit, some of my feelings around that are I just don't quite understand yet, but it's just, and some of it is like anger, and just a sense of there's just a lot there about taking care of myself, or taking care of that person's feelings, or not knowing how to act, and feeling bad about the past. So there's that, and I just don't, I got this kind of avoidant part that's just doesn't want to go into that.
Sure.
At the moment. And yeah.
Okay. So avoidant part, depressor part, and then this cluster of parts that seem to be triggered, especially by the breakup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Is there one of them that you'd like to work with first?
Yeah, I wanna work with this depressor part.
Okay.
And and I'm just gonna be open about, where I see that part. And I had some major depressive episodes when I was younger, during my college time in college. And I had some substance abuse issues. And I see that part, when I say I want to visit that part. I go to this hospital room.
You go to a hospital room?
Yeah, I go to this hospital in a certain area, and I see the bed there, and I see that place. And it's not a terrible place or anything, but I feel well, let me see, what do I. Well, I feel just this kind of like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to go there.
It's fine.
Okay. Let me go back to this. Let me go back to this part, this cluster of parts that I was, trying to avoid.
Anger, self-care, other care.
Yeah.
Feeling bad about the relationship.
Yeah. And so I really haven't, used the model with, it has nothing to do with like, that's nothing to do with her. It has nothing to do with like this person. I need to like get it for myself, So, there's like all this judgment about how I handled it. So if I would like, there's this avoidant part. Like I just don't want to feel. I just don't want to feel this.
Yeah.
It feels kind of like the feeling I have is like it's just like the walls are kind of closing in.
Okay.
And I just don't have any room. I don't have any space for myself, my feelings, my just feel, and
that's what the avoidant part wants you to not feel.
Yeah, it's just like, geez, is it gonna like crush me or something? It's like, where am I gonna? How far can you go? With it. And
yeah. Okay.
And
it sounds to me like that avoidant part is on the outside of this group, meaning that it would need to be negotiated with to get much further.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think he's saying that, I don't know how to I don't know how to deal with these feelings. I don't know how to deal with,
okay.
I don't know how to organize that whole scenario. And no matter what you do, you're going to come out wrong. And you were wrong for why you got into the relationship and like everything that happened, and it's really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And when that comes up, when that avoidant part comes up and has those messages for you, how do you notice that in your body?
Well, I mean, something just dawned on me, it's like this avoidant part is just, it's, it's sort of like, I mean, that's how I finally got out of this depression and everything. It was just,
It said
like,
no more.
you need
That's
to
too
just
much of
move
that.
on.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, it was like, I got through this kind of really dark time, and then I kind of saw a little glimmer of light, and then I just and I think that avoidant part was kind of one of the parts that was like, yeah, just go, man, and just like leave the rest behind. Just don't look back. Don't, because it scared the hell out of me. I mean, I thought like, I just didn't think I was going to come back, and
right.
And then, so yeah, so like this, it is a protector. It is like this avoiding, it just wants things to go away.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel towards it right now?
I feel better. I feel a little bit better. I feel I understand where it's coming from, that, that there's definitely a time for that, to ignore things, and or I can see I understand it, but a little bit, I just feel like, it's hard to heal things. It's hard to look at things,
Right.
when everything, it's hard to open the box and
right.
say, because everything is kind of like off limits, anything that has a serious charge is like, is like off limits. And,
okay. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So you have this kind of frustration about how much it comes up and keeps you from accessing whatever you're trying to access. It's deeper feelings or other parts.
Yeah. So I just don't feel human. I don't feel like I'm connected.
Yeah.
To it. It's don't.
Okay. So, and by getting to know, and by getting to know this avoidant part, we might be able to help it relax or help it communicate with you differently.
Yeah.
So see if you can ask that part that's so frustrated about it for space, just to allow you to go in with curiosity.
Yeah, I think there's some little bit of interest, maybe, of, because I'm guessing, that he's working very hard. And my system, it just gets, there's pain that, can't get processed, and And there is that ability, there is that ability in the system, but it would take a little bit of space, a little bit of
right. Yeah. So see if you can just communicate that to that part that's frustrated. See how it responds. If it's okay with you doing this work.
I think so. I don't get a real clear answer, but I don't feel like it's a softening. Yeah. I
Great.
feel like
Yeah.
I feel a little more relaxed.
Yeah. And it sounds like you have some curiosity and understanding or compassion for this avoidant part.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you to the frustrated part. It's looking out for you, and it wants you to be able to do this work. So
yeah,
see if you can turn back to the avoidant part. Let it know that you're curious, and ask it what it wants you to know about it.
I don't know. All I hear is I'm only 7 years old.
Okay.
And I don't know why that's keeps coming up. No idea.
Well, it might be a part that's only 7 years old. You could ask it. You could ask it its age. You could ask it why it's important for it to tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm just I'm watching this little movie of me on my bike up at the school. Sure yet. It's like I'm trying to figure out what it's saying to me, but I think he's avoiding me, actually.
Okay.
I think he's just like riding his bike, and like not really paying attention to questions.
Yeah. Well, you could, just try to deepen your access by, well, any way you can. You can ride a bike along beside him. You could.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here with him, but it's just kind of like.
Or you could ask him what he's concerned about being with you or communicating with you.
we're not saying much. It's just, he's just like looking at me from the edge of this forest,
Okay.
Like this tree, line of trees that was on the edge of the school, and I just haven't seen him in a long time, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel a little choked up or if he's conveying that to me or,
Yeah. Yeah, it's powerful. Suddenly connecting with parts you haven't connected with. And if you're okay feeling that, just let him know you're okay feeling that.
Yeah. Feels good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not great, but
yeah. So he's noticing you. Does he recognize you? Does he see you for who you are?
I mean, he looks like he's in better shape than me. I mean, I don't mean physically, just like he's emotionally. He looks like he's okay. Like he's.
When you say.
He knows himself. He knows him. He knows who he is.
Okay.
I don't know.
When you say he's in better shape than you, how are you evaluating your own shape right now?
I'm a mess, really.
All right, let's hear from that.
Yeah.
Can we hear more about that? I'm a mess.
Yeah, I'm just, like I'm trying to figure out how the pieces fit together.
Mm-hmm.
And
me too.
Here's this, this might be it more like the thing. Like that's just this, like I see him there and it's just this time in my life. And it was just so simple.
Yeah. So it sounds to me like there's a part that has a sadness about, comparing the different times and seeing this mess, this more complex life that you have now compared to this young part that can just ride his bike.
Yeah. It was just like, I just loved my life. Just had my bike and I just like own the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
can we stay with the part that has the feelings of you being a mess?
Yeah.
Okay. It wanted to get your attention and let you know that. What is it wanting to accomplish, or why is it important for that part to come in at that point?
Well, Well, now I actually kind of start to see, the hospital room.
Okay.
And I see that, and I see, like, I'm just, like, there. I'm, like, on that bed.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know if that's exactly it, but it's a constant. I see that, and I definitely, if you want to talk about a mess of a time, I mean, that was like a mess. That was a real mess.
When you say you see that, do you see a part? You see a person in the hospital room?
Yeah, I see. I'm probably just like so connected. Like I see the legs on the bed, like
Of
as
the
if
23-year-old?
as if that was me. Like I know that that is a part of me, and
yeah. And have you worked with that part before? I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
I have. That's the part that said, you left me here, and I don't know. I'm wondering about the relationship. I'm wondering about the relationship now because the avoidant part, the connection, but I mean that's a strong like. If you want to talk about avoiding the thought of myself at a certain time, it's that. Because it's just, it's just has not been.
Does that part does that part still feel like it's left there?
Yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel towards it as you notice its message and its feeling of being left still?
I feel bad for.
Yeah. Yeah. You're feeling compassionate for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just see if you can show it that. If any of this feels like too much or overwhelming, you can step back out. But just to let it know that you feel bad for it, for not being more connected.
Yeah. It was a little too much. I just, had to avoid that again, I guess.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm glad you caught that. And thank you to that avoidant part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a really strained relationship, a really tough thing to face and to remember. And is that avoidant part, does that still feel like it's that 7-year-old doing that?
Mm-hmm.
It does. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I say, if I could like go back and now I'm there again. I'm like, I see him
back to the 7-year-old. Great.
Yeah.
Great. And does it make sense to you how he works, how that works, and just the strength that part has in pulling you out of situations that feel like too much? Yeah.
Yeah. And it I'll say too, it hurts a little bit though.
Sure.
Yeah, but I do. I feel the strength. I feel the strength of.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And can you convey that to him that you're picking that up and that you recognize the intention?
Yeah. I'll do that. Yeah. I think what I meant about, him being in better shape than me is like that strength. Like it feels like he occupies this very strong place in my system, and
yeah,
it's, yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he knows it.
Good.
He doesn't need me to tell him.
Good.
That's what I get.
Yeah. What does he notice about you? What does he notice about your strength?
I don't know that he knows me.
Okay.
I don't know that he does.
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
Right. Makes sense.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you said when you first saw him that he's not really he didn't want to notice you, and
now he's, yeah, and it's been like, like I said, he's way over on the edge of these trees. He's probably like 30, like I'm at the top of this. It's not a big hill, but it's just like my elementary school. So he's he's probably like 20 feet away at least.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you were thinking that he was working really hard. You said that you understood that. Could you check that out with him? Just ask him if he thinks that, how he feels about your understanding of him.
He's about to kind of take off.
Okay.
I don't know. I think, just really what I see is like, you just like started to ask and he just kind of turned around and like he's going to go into the woods or something. We used to have this woods is like you could just duck in there. So I'm not sure what that's all about.
Is there something he'd like to show you in there?
Yeah, let me see. I'm not sure. I think he likes the distance that we're at.
He likes
right
the distance.
Now.
Good. Okay, we can keep that distance. Yeah. And he likes having that place where he can go into the woods.
Yeah, he's just I feel this like shaking in my chest, and I'm a little bit colder, and I see that he's kind of got his shirt off and kind of like more of like a wild kid, like it's not something like I would have done at that time, but it's like a feral child or something.
Yeah. Does he like that?
I think so. I think he feels like he's on his own.
He doesn't have to answer to anybody.
He doesn't have to answer to anyone. Like there's nobody around him. There's nobody like he I didn't know this about myself. Like, I wouldn't have guessed this. You know,
Right.
I don't. I mean, socially, I don't think I.
Yeah, it's just he's a part. Yeah.
So yeah, he's very, almost like the Lord of the Flies kind of thing. Maybe not to that extent, but yeah, you could just build a fort in the woods.
Yeah, sounds very capable, very resourceful, independent.
Yeah.
He's able to get you out of tough situations.
Yeah.
I know he's distant, but can you send him any appreciation for working so hard?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, he really responds to just feeling and not words.
Mm-hmm.
He's really receptive, to feelings.
Yeah.
Like, if I would try to say those things to him, like, it wouldn't land. Like, if I would say, hey, if I would say, hey, I really appreciate you.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do it in a feeling way.
Right. That's what.
Send him the feeling. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, he'll come closer.
Okay. What else does he want you to know about him? Or about anything?
Yeah, well, we're just there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, looking out, on this playground. He says he keeps trying to tell me things.
And he feels like you're not receiving them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you can negotiate a way to receive them. Maybe you can ask what you can do to understand him better. Or you could ask him to compromise.
Yeah.
Say it in another way.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little frustrated with me. I don't know.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How would he like to communicate with you? If he could communicate easily with you, what would that look like for him?
Well, I mean, he's expressing some anger at me right now, and but it's fine. And he's, basically says I don't listen.
Yeah. Yeah. And is there some truth to that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just let him know that you see that. You're sorry about that. And that you're appreciative of him continuing to try like he is right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just this, it's just really pissed. But it's just, it's just, I get it, it's just,
Is there maybe another part that kind of blocks that communication? Like when he's trying to send a message, is there a part in you that's trying not to hear it, that's scrambling it? You could ask him that, or maybe you've identified one.
yeah. I mean, I get a sense that it's, just has to do with this kind of people pleasing, nice guy.
Yeah.
That I listen to that voice, like as my way of navigating the world.
Right.
And
that doesn't mix very well with the feral kid in the woods, does it?
No, man. No. It's like...
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let him know you've seen that dynamic too. The nice guy getting in the way of your listening to parts, listening inward. People pleaser.
Yeah, he's kind of like making fun of me a little bit.
Yeah. You okay with that?
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's great.
Great. How old does he think that you are?
I don't know. It may be 37, but maybe I made that up. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know that he...
Is the nice guy 37? Just a hypothesis.
Maybe.
Okay. And what does he need from you? What does this 7-year-old need from you to help? To help in your ability to listen, in his ability to get through to you, in whatever would help him.
Yeah, I think he's just not done like breaking shit, from being so, I don't, maybe that's just some of the thing he likes doing. I don't know. It's like,
what does he need to break? What's he wanting to break?
I mean, I don't know if this is like if this is symbolic or something, but it's like just like uprooting these like telephone poles with like communicate. They have. I guess they would have like wires on them. Like communication lines.
Yeah.
It seems symbolic, like he's trying to tell me something. Maybe he's putting them in. Maybe he's putting them in. Maybe we need to open up. Maybe that's what he's saying.
Is he putting them in to establish the connection, or is he pulling them out? I was thinking maybe pulling them out because maybe they are the verbal communication that he's not into. Maybe there aren't any telephone wires in the woods in the way that he likes communicating.
Yeah. Well, let me ask him how he likes to communicate. Like what he needs for...
Yeah.
Okay, now what I get is just that to be, quiet and listen, only listen. Like that's communication. And when I settled down there for a second, I just saw him again, with his clothes on at the edge of the forest, just standing there in his kind of strength and just the calmness and the poise.
Yeah.
And
how do you feel about that idea of making more quiet, to getting quiet in order to listen to him in the future? Does that...
Yeah. I look forward to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do any parts have concerns about like how to do that, or will I be able to do that? Is there any of that kind of
No, I think it's just to be intentional, because I do that, but I think if I'm intentional about it and being like, maybe even with that part, like listening, I'm listening if you have anything that you want to tell me.
Yeah.
And maybe not with words, I say that, but I can try to start to use my feeling to talk to him and listen, like receptive and like what is it? Just kind of alert, kind of stillness, and like a gentle, like kind of question. Anything you want to tell me?
Yeah. You could also ask if there's kind of a place or a time that he would like to meet you. Does he want to meet you on the bikes? Does he want to meet you in the woods? Should you create a new place that he would like to visit you?
Yeah, I feel like, the playground is that. And then also, I feel like I wanna let him know that to go in the woods too, and I wanna,
You want to know what his life is like,
yeah,
and what he's into.
What is right.
Yeah, great. Yeah, let him know all that. It's part of how you want to listen. Is there any more that you want to talk about with him now, or he has any other messages or concerns about anything, or about how you'll work together going forward?
Like for me, like I feel a slight little question about, is this two parts, or I'm kind of asking him that, is this, because I see this myself, the one that was on the bike and the one that stands at the edge of the forest and has this, and that's, that's me. And then this other part, he's this feral kid, It's like no one I've ever associated with myself, and and yet I feel like that we're connected and that we're, and are they the same, or are they two?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then there's the idea that parts have parts. That he's got his bike kid persona and his feral kid persona, perhaps. I don't know. And the only way to find out is to keep staying with him and finding out directly from him. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, any other questions? Is it feeling complete with him for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Any questions for me? Any feedback for me?
No. I mean, I felt really supported, and the things you were curious about led in good directions, And,
great.
Yeah.
Great. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'd love to keep working with you.
Yeah.
My calendar is completely full right now, and I'm working on some solutions to that. So I will contact you.
Okay, please.
Got a plan for that.
Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I would love to work with you again.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks for your time. Thanks to all your parts.
Yeah, thank you again.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Bye-bye.
All right, have a good night. Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. and they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.